Hi there, this is a instructional guide on how to contribute to HedgeDocs for people who are not familiar with GitHub or are not familiar with Python. First what you'll want to do is open your web browser, and I'm just going to put the HedgeDocs website here to the side to show you what's going on. And what you'll want to look up on Google is HedgeDocs GitHub. And you should see this repository over here, so you can click that. And this repository is actually the source code for the website over here, and it's automatically built using CI/CD, meaning that every time someone makes a change here, it will automatically rebuild the website. You can see that the documentation in here actually corresponds to files in this file structure over here. For example, if I were to go to docs, Hedgehog Engine, Rangers, look at DLC, IDs, you'll see this ID map over here, and when you go to Sonic Frontiers, DLC, you'll see the same map over here. So this web page is actually built straight from the information in here, which is also currently formatted by GitHub, but you can change that. If you click code over here, you can see the actual how the data is in the files. So this is the data you'll be editing when you're trying to edit HedgeDocs. Okay, so first what you'll need some kind of editor. I highly recommend Visual Studio Code. Just type that in Google, and if you click this, you can just download for Windows. Now I already have this installed, so I'm not going to go through the whole installation for this one, because this is actually really pretty simple. It's an Electron app. It's about as simple as installing Discord. Then secondly, you'll also need to make a GitHub account. So that's over here. Again, I already have an account on this website. I cannot go through the signups procedure again, but this is the same as with any other services you can sign up for. You go to github.com, the main website, and there'll be a box over here on the right saying you can sign up. You just provide your email, your password, and then go through the sign up procedure, and eventually you'll just end up with a screen like this, but it'll look a bit more empty. So first, if you want to start contributing, what you'll want to do is also install GitHub Desktop. So if we type GitHub Desktop, you can also use any other Git client, but this one is very friendly for beginners, so that's why I'm saying just install this one. Click download, wait for it to download for a second. And meanwhile, you can go to the HedgeDocs repository, and when you go to the main page, you'll see a few buttons over here. So one of them is watch, one of them is fork, and one of them is star. You don't need these two. This is the one you need. Now, how Git works is that you have a history of everything that changed. So I click this button over here. This shows the history. If you click this, then you'll see, okay, this person made that change, this person made that change, this person made that change, and you can actually at any point in time you can clone the current state, make your own copy, and then you can start editing that copy, and later you can ask the maintainers of HedgeDocs to merge your changes back into the mainline thing. And what Hit does is it will see where changes happened. It will try to figure out what it needs to do to actually put your changes back with all the changes that were made by other people in the meanwhile, and it will try to find a common solution so that eventually your changes are now visible on the website together with all the changes that other people made. But first you need to start working on your own version of this repository, and you do that by clicking fork. So fork splits the history. You make a copy for yourself. So if I click this, it'll ask me, okay, you can create a new fork. You don't need to change this. You don't need to change this. You can leave this alone, and you just click create fork. And now you have a copy of HedgeDocs under your own account, right? So you can see over here it has my avatar now. It says here angrizo/HedgeDocs github.io, and it says, okay, you forked this from HedgeDocs.github.io. I can also see if I go to my main website, it should now show up. If I go to repositories on my profile, it should show up in that list right over here. So this is my version. If I were to go back to the HedgeDocs organization's version, they have their own version, right? So my version is a copy of their version, and it has a completely different history. Well, for now it's the same, but once we start editing, it will diverge. Okay, so now we want to start working on this. So in the meantime, GitHub Desktop must have downloaded. Okay, it's over here. We just click that installer. It again also a very simple installation process. Voila. So we'll click clone a repository from the internet. So this will make another copy, but now this copy will be on your local PC, right? So you have one copy that's the master copy, the main copy that the HedgeDocs organization has. Then we have our own copy on GitHub, and now we're going to make another copy on our local computer to actually work on. And we'll do that by, okay, it says, okay, clone the repository from GitHub, that's fine. We click sign in, continue with browser, and it will go to this standard OAuth login. So you click continue. It'll say, okay, you can authorize GitHub. Is it okay if it's accessing your repositories? Is it okay if it accesses your personal data? Sure, authorize desktop. Yep, we can open that link, and now we are logged in. And you see over here, it actually has this repository that I cloned under my name. So this is my own copy. I click this one, click clone, and now it's downloading the contents of my copy to my local PC. That's going to take a little while because it's a big repository. Alright. How are you planning to use this fork to contribute to the parent project? You can click that. Continue. And now it will say, okay, do you want to open this repository in your external editor? You can click OK, open Visual Studio Code. I'm gonna put this on the right side because I prefer it that way. Okay. Visual Studio might ask you if you trust this directory. Just click yes. Of course you trust it. And now you can go to here. You'll see, okay, these are all the different web pages. Right. There's information, documentation. Now you could already just start editing this. But it's nice if you have a local, well, if you can check what you're doing. And for that, we're going to have to follow the rest of the documentation over here. This is documentation about how to contribute. Definitely read this first before you start contributing, because otherwise your changes will probably be rejected because they're not following the conventions. It's important for everyone to do the same thing and to not have every single page be completely different structures. So that's why these are here. But this is what we need to see our changes live while we're editing them. So okay, it says here install Python. That's what we're gonna do. Click install Python. We'll just have to well, you can just use the latest version. So Python 3.12. Okay. For well, it's easiest if you just click install now and don't worry too much about the rest. Just click close over here. And now you can hold Control and press tilde, which is the button right below escape on your keyboard, and it'll open a terminal down here. And if you type in that terminal pip, you'll see that this is actually a program. That's a program installed by Python. If it says it can't find it, then try rebooting your computer. It's possible. I haven't tried that in a while. It might be necessary to reboot your computer. Anyway, once you've done that, once that is installed, now you can just copy paste these things over here one by one. So we copy paste this, paste it in here by right clicking, for example, and press enter. Alright. Then we'll need these plugins, they say. Okay, let's also install those. And this one over here. Now there's one more thing we need to do, and that's because these plugins that HedgeDocs is using, they want to read out some information from Git to identify who put stuff in there, but we don't actually have Git installed. We have GitHub Desktop installed, which is a little bit different. So if we do just mkdocs serve now, like it's mentioned in here, we'll get a crash because it doesn't find Git. So we'll have to point the mkdocs to this Git executable that's included with this app over here. And we'll do this by copying this part. For starters, we'll do Ctrl-Shift-C. And we type, assuming you are using PowerShell, you can see that by the PS over here, do env colon and then Ctrl-Shift-V to paste, Mind Shift, and then we can just go to the folder that contains the Git executable inside this app, which is located in we go to this PC, users, Ruben detected in my case, but that's just your username, app data, local, GitHub desktop, app 3 4.2, resources, app, git, cmd, and then here we have git.exe, which is the file that it's actually looking for. So let's take this, copy the path over here, and we can already paste this in here, Control Shift V, and then yeah, you do need a quote here, okay, and then we add the last part, which is just the name of the executable, so git.exe, press enter, and now when we do mkdocs serve, it will find the information. And it says, okay, I'm serving on HTTP 127.0.0.1, and you can just hold Control and click this, and it will open in your browser. And now this is actually HedgeDocs running on your machine. And the cool thing here is you can browse, you can go in here. For example, if we go to the file formats, and say, for example, scripts, functions. Okay, activity complete. Let's go look that up, and we want to edit that. Let's go to scripts, funcs, say okay, activity complete is actually, it has no callback function, but that doesn't really explain much. So we say okay, this, well, let's not just delete it, but this function signifies that the activity is complete. And once we save, it will rebuild, and this will automatically update, and we'll see our changes over here. So now that we have made a change, how do we send this back to the people at HedgeDocs to merge it in? Well, that's through GitHub Desktop, which you can find which is here, and you'll see GitHub Desktop has found out that okay, yeah, what you have here is you made this change over here. Is that okay? Is that okay? There might be more changes here if I put some stuff in here, and we save. Then it will show that one as well, and you can go over these, and I definitely recommend that you do to check what you have done to make sure it's correct. For example, this is clearly me. Well, this is not me. This is my cat who ran over my keyboard. So let's make sure that that's no longer in there. Okay, now we only have our actual change left. And what we want to do is, okay, we have a little box here where we can describe what we did. So first we need a title for what we did. Added info about activity complete function. And then here, this is a longer format message where you can in much greater detail explain what exactly you did. I added some more information to Lua function activity complete in the Rangers documentation. And then you can just click commit to main. Voila. So now this has been added to the history of your local repository on your local machine. So it's not yet in your GitHub, right? If I go to my GitHub over here, give me my repositories. I forgot how to use GitHub. Projects. No, no. I forgot how to use GitHub. Ah, okay, it's there in the top right. Your repositories. So let's go to my fork of the GitHub repository. You'll see it still says, okay, this branch is up to date with HedgeDocs, HedgeDocs GitHub IO main. So we don't have our changes in GitHub yet. We only have it in our local repository. Over here you can see it. You see this is the list of changes that were made by people, and here is my latest change, added info about the activity complete function, right? So now what we need to do is to push it, and pushing means to take what I have here on my local machine and put it back into GitHub. And you see this big button here, push origin. Doesn't matter what view you're in, it will still show there. So we click this. Voila. And now we can see, okay, we have added info about activity complete function in here. So what we need to do now is we have it available in our clone, in our copy of the repository, but we don't yet have it in HedgeDocs itself. So now we have to go ask the maintainers of HedgeDocs to please merge our changes. And you can see this button contribute over here. That is what that is for. It says, okay, this branch is one commit ahead. This is my local branch, one commit ahead, and we click contribute. Yes, it says, okay, it is one commit ahead, open pull request. And a pull request basically means, okay, you're going to ask the people who are maintaining the repository to please merge your changes, and then they'll have the chance to look at what you've done. You'll see here it added the descriptions that I put in this box over here earlier. And this is, you can elaborate in here if you want. To better explain why your changes are useful to be pulled into the repository. And then you'll click create pull request, which I'm not going to do currently because of course this is well, not a real comment. However, we can have a look at some previous pull requests. If you were to click create pull request, then it will send this, and the maintainers will see what your changes were and will be able to merge them if they agree with the changes. Now we can have a look at previous pull requests to see what that looks like. If you click closed here, these are previous pull requests. For example, okay, this is a pull request that changed some information, added more info to some generations, and it put a link to the terrain importing guide. So what the maintainers will be able to do is to look at your commits and see, okay, that's what they did. Okay, what exactly did they change? Oh, they changed this, they changed that. Might put some, they will probably run some automated tests to see if your changes actually, well, are at least able to build. But that's all fine in this case. So now you just wait for people to review your changes, and when they agree, they'll just merge them in and you'll be notified. And that's pretty much it. There's one more thing, it's if the if other people have in the meantime made changes, then let's go back to my version. And you'll be able to click sync fork here, and it will draw in changes that they have made. And here there's also a button with the same kind of icon, which is fetch origin, and that will pull changes from your copy in GitHub to your local copy. So we always have 3 copies that we're going back and forth from. If there are, well, normally in most cases, especially in this project, it'll just transparently apply the changes. But it might be that GitHub desktop will tell you here that there's a conflict, and then you'll have to just go in and it will show, okay, that someone changed this, but you also changed this, and that's not going to work. And then you'll have to edit it a bit to incorporate both of the changes, and then you can just continue as before. That's it. Good luck. Have fun adding documentations to HedgeDocs. And thank you for listening.